Chapter 3, Judge Advocate Legal Service Personnel with the facility with the Judge Advocate Legal Service consists of the officer, warrant officer with the enlisted personnel with the officer, other members of the Army detail with the Judge Advocate Corps of the civilian authorities, Judge Advocate General is qualifying authority, executive level of civilian authorities under the technical supervision of Judge Advocate General, professional consultation, legal technician, civil employee with the other personnel with the duties with the Judge Advocate Legal Service facility supply with equipment necessary for the carry out of the mission function. 3-2 mission, Judge Advocate Legal Services support total Army mission of the Ministry of the Military Justice System, providing with the other quality legal service with the highest professional standard with the Judge Advocate General, responsible for developing and executing plan with a program across the full spectrum of legal disciplines, including these described in paragraph 2.1 of the regulation, practice, law, unless otherwise specifically authorized for the Judge Advocate General, the Army regulation over the DA publication only, attorney for the Judge Advocate, legal service attorney, serving with the qualifying authority, General Counsel of the Army, Chief Counsel of the Army, Corps Engineer Command, Counsel of the Army, Military Command are authorized to engage in the practice of the law on behalf of the Army Command, unit, agency, office, element, or the other Army entity, or be assigned against authorization of the requirement for an attorney with an Army Command, unit, agency, office, element, with the Army or other Army entity, provide legal instruction training for the entity with the Army Command, unit, agency, office, element, with the other Army entity, with the Army officer that will not just advocate, but is assigned with the perform duties involved with the professional work in field law, but must have the education, training experience of the equal similar to the required with the other members of the legal professional. Till 10 U.S. Standard Code 3065E. Some Army officers may not engage with the practice of law with the Army unless the officer with a good standing with a defined paragraph 33G has the appropriate qualifying authority. Attorney with the Joint Advocate Legal Service will not engage with the private law practice without prior written approval of the Judge Advocate General. The Judge Advocate General designee with the requirement does not apply with the reverse component member of the Judge Advocate Corps unless they are ordered to the active duty more than 30 calendar days. See AR 2738, 2740, 2726 for their guidance on conduct of the attorney of the Joint Judge Advocate Legal Services. While each licensing authority granting with certificate and privilege of the practice of law jurisdiction defined with the phrase with the good standing based on its own rules. On its own rules, minimum joint advocate legal service of the personnel with the individual will have been admitted with the practice law with the highest score of the state of the territory with the Commonwealth of the District of Columbia, subject jurisdiction, disciplinary review process, and not suspended or debarred from the practice of law within this jurisdiction up to date with the payment of the required fees has been met with the CLE. Continuing legal education requirements whether the judge jurisdiction has imposed with the cognizant authority has waived the requirement to if the individual has met such requirements of the cognizant or other authority to say whether remain eligible to practice law. Duty to avoid conflict of interest with the judge advocate legal service attorney shall not provide legal advice to the other that's doing that may result in the conflict of interest over the primary duties joint advocate primary defeat with the chief of the USATD's trial defense services with a more available to individual defense counsel provided with the advance assistant soldiers suspected to keep with the convicted violation U.S. Code, military justice matters relating to the violation, suspected violation system provided with comply with the policy superior for the responsible to supervise the defense function, will provide defense counsel with not available with the staff of the judge advocate and will first obtain with approval of the ACOM ASCC direct reporting supervisor judge advocate consult chief of the U.S. Army trial defense services for authorizing attorneys to provide defense activity advice and defense assistance to soldiers. Judge Advocate General Corps of the Judge Advocate General Corps is constituted by the Title 10 U.S. Standard Code 3702 with a special branch of the Army in accordance with the Title 1030 U.S. Code 3064A2 with the pursuant of the Title 10 U.S. Standard Code 3702. The Judge Advocate Corps consists of the following individuals: Judge Officer for the Serving with the Judge Advocate General with the Deputy Judge Advocate General with the Assistant Judge Advocate General with the Military Operations Committee with the U.S. Army Legal Service, the Assistant Chief Judge, U.S. Army Corps of the Criminal Appeals, Assistant Judge Advocate General of the Criminal Law Litigation Command of the Judge Advocate General Legal Counsel Center and School of the Commander, U.S. Army Legal Command, a member of the U.S. Army Reserve, who is assigned to the Judge Advocate Corps, General Corps. The Chief Judge, Individual Mobilization, Augmentation, U.S. Army Court, Criminal Appeals, member U.S. Army Reserve, with the assignment of the Judge Advocate General Corps over the U.S. Army Reserve, with the Assistant Judge Advocate General of the Military Law Operations, U.S. Army Reserve assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, and with a Special Assistant Judge Advocate General with a member of the National Guard, Army with the National Guard, United States with the Detailed Judge Advocate General with any position filled with the officer appointed with the Judge Advocate Corps, Commander officers with the primary military occupational specialists 27A and 27B, who are members of the regular Army appointed with the Judge Advocate Corps, for the members of the U.S. Army Reserve assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, the RNGS assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, Warrant Office PMOS 270A. Certified legal agencies are the member of the regular Army appointed Judge Advocate Corps, the member of the U.S. Army Reserve assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, members of the RNGS assigned Judge Advocate Corps, and enlisted soldiers of military occupational specialist 27D, members of the regular Army assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, member of the U.S. Army Reserve assigned Judge Advocate Corps, member of the Army National Guard, GUS. I don't see the abbreviation for that. Assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps of the members assigned with the Judge Advocate Corps, Secretary Army under 1010 U.S. Name Code 3702. U.S. Judge Advocate Officer with the Judge Advocate perform with the duties with the companion with the assigned with the attached companion with the supervisor, Judge Advocate, staff, Judge Advocate, Chief Trial, Judiciary, Chief U.S. Army Trial Defense Services, Judge Advocate, receive the technical law supervision, Judge Advocate General with the supervisor, Judge Advocate, unless approved with the supervisor, Judge Advocate perform only professional legal duties for which they are trained, when they should not perform the non-legal duties such as the officer of the data inventory, officer of the ranging, officer of the casualty notification, officer of the casualty assistant officer, any other duties with the within interfere with the primary assist legal duties with the create with the potential of the conflict of interest, legal support with the bridge combat team of the regiment groups of the other brigade equivalents, applicability with the purpose paragraph of the bridge combat team, brigade combat team include all brigades, regiments, groups, and other the brigade equivalents, brigade combat team, legal section of the brigade, regiment group of the command, Judge Advocate here and there after, Brigade BGA, Senior Legal Officer with the assignment of the Provision, Judge Advocate, Brigade Combat Teams, all of the other brigades, such as the Senior Judge Advocate Provision, Senior Judge Advocate Brigade Combat Team, General Court Martial, Conveying Authority at a home station while deploying, Relations Servicing Officer with the Judge Advocate, the deploy with the Garrison Bridge Combat Team, Officer with the not reserve with the intent with the function with the independence over the OSJA. I gotta turn on the light here. Or that one's also not found in the book. Office of Supervisor, Judge Advocate, Brigade Combat Team, Legal Service must have integrated with the GCMA. General Court Marshalling, Conveying Authority. Certifying Officer, Supervisor, Judge Advocate, Brigade Combat Team, Legal Section, responsible for the Brigade Combat Legal Section, responsible for the legal service of the Brigade Combat Team, Legal Section, requirements to exceed the capabilities of the Brigade BGA, according to the Office of the Secretary, Judge Advocate, support with the Captain, CPTs, captains serving as trial counsel of the Brigade Combat Team Legal Section, primarily responsible for the Ministry of the Military Justice more than the Brigade Combat Team. Duty of the location of the Brigade BGA with the TC trial counsel will work with the Office of Secretary, Supervisor, Judge Advocate, Military Justice Section, Regulatory Interact, Brigade Combat Team Commander, Staff Accomplishment, Military Justice Mission Arrangement, foster effective training, ensure the consistent quality of legal service delivered. Additional Authorized Judge Advocate General will also work with the Office of Secretary, Judge Advocate, Supervisor, Judge Advocate may authorize additional Judge Advocate to work on the Brigade Headquarters Legal Section, Supervisor, Judge Advocate to permanence in his or her sole discretion with additional Judge Advocate training and experience with the performance completely at the location dual supervisor chain. BGA member of the Brigade Combat Team, Commander, Personnel Special Staff of the Director, Line Communication Commander, Brigade Combat Team Commander, determine the BGA, Brigade Judge Advocate, routine day-to-day duties of the Super Judge Advocate to take authority of the Brigade Combat Team Legal Section, Super Judge Advocate, Supervisor, Judge Advocate provide the technical guidance, Brigade Judge Advocate, the TC Trial Counsel Additional judge advocate is for the trial counsel, supervise brigade judge advocate during training exercise of the operational mission, supervise the chief justice of the Garrett Additional judge advocate, supervise the brigade judge advocate during training exercise of the operational mission while working with the office of secretary judge advocate, supervise super judge advocate rating scheme of the brigade judge advocate, trial counsel of the will in accordance with the Army Regulation 623.3 Appendix D, specifically whenever the possible brigade judge advocate, whenever the possibility rated, the supervisor judge advocate senior rated with the brigade combat team brigade commander, trial counsel will normally be rated with the brigade judge advocate senior related with the super judge advocate with the necessary super judge advocate brigade combat team commander determine the intermediate rated with the training trial counsel, super judge advocate will determine the rating scheme and additional judge advocate rating scheme of the judge advocate receive with both leadership mentoring with the unit change of the command, professional guidance to develop and the practice law with the senior judge advocate rating scheme and accomplish the goals of the provided maximum flexibility super judge advocate brigade combat team chain command of the Army Regulation 623.3 dual supervision length of the assignment of the brigade judge advocate will ordinarily assign the brigade combat team brigade to 2 years, tour lengths of the judge advocate assignment of the brigade combat team. Other brigade will be based on the needs of the Army Judge Advocate Corps, professional development, the need of the officer of the judge advocate with the PPTO will control the assignment of the judge advocate assignment of the brigade combat team of the other brigade. 3.7 the use of the 270A warrant officers of legal administration, legal assistance. Sorry, what is the proper? Is it legal agency or legal assistance? I forgot. Legal administrator will perform the duty with the direction of supervising judge advocate defined in paragraph 211. Legal administrator will receive the technical service to judge advocate, chief warrant officer of the corps, the super judge advocate, super companion of the super judge advocate, unless otherwise super judge advocate, technical chain of supervision. Legal advocate will perform only professional legal administrative duties which will the train with the should not perform a non-legal administrative duties such charge of the corps of the range detail of the casual notification officer of the casual assistant officer of the guard duty, any other duties that will interfere with the primary legal duties. Warrant officer, judge advocate, corp will be consolidated office, supervised judge advocate, supporting commander with the authorized exercise of the GCM, general court martial authority. And warning officer, judge advocate, general counsel of the time of the major subordinate with the commands of the does not exercise of the judge, general court martial. Martial court conveying authority if the attached organizational exercise and senior commander responsible to define the Army Regulation 620 with prescribe the duties of the super judge advocate, supervisor judge advocate, nothing else of the deployment of MSC. Major subordinate command that does not exercise general court martial conveying authority that will be attached to organization exercising senior command responsible to define the Army Regulation 620 that prescribe the duty of the organization super judge advocate to notwithstanding the develop deployment of MSC major subordinate command with the operation exercise in which major support command could exercise general court martial conveying authority. 3.8 use of paralegal soldiers with the primary military occupational specialty 27D. Paralegal soldiers perform the duty with the direction of supervised judge advocate with the definement of paragraph 211. The paragraph of the paralegals receive the technical supervision of judge advocate, chairman of the regiment, to command sergeant major of the super judge advocate, chief or of the command paralegal, and NCO of the super companion of the supervised judge advocate, unless of the three with the supervised judge advocate, chief command paralegal, NCO with the technical chain of supervision with the paralegal will perform only professional paralegal duties of which are trained they should not perform paralegal duties such as the CQ range duty, the casualty assistant officer of the guard duty, any other duties that interfere with the primary legal duties. Paralegal soldiers document table, the table of distribution allowance, table of organization equipment with the definition, table of the organization of the equipment down with the battalion level assigned again for the authorization garrison. However, the paralegal with the consult with the legal officer of the brigade equivalent higher level include with the officer of supervisor judge advocate. For example, the consolidated brigade level, the paralegals soldier with the consolidated with the brigade level section direct supervision brigade judge Advocate Brigade Senior Paralegal NCO to ensure the timely with efficient legal support with the all supported units for the facility. Paralegal timing. Paralegals is a C5 skill that identify court reporter assigned with a court report where the duties will work with the general court marshal, conveying authority with the Office of Supervisor Judge Advocate, unless assigned with a brigade combat team rating schedule scheme. 27D Paralegal Non-Commissioned Officer according to the Army Regulation 623.3. Brigade Senior Paralegal NCO will, whenever the possibility review with the brigade Judge Advocate. Senior rated brigade commander rating scheme designed to brigade Senior Paralegal NCO receive both leadership mentoring from the unit chain command as well as the professional guidance to develop in the Judge Advocate General Corp leaders for the rating of the scheme with the intent to accomplish for the goal of providing maximal flexibility of the brigade combat team. 3-9 staff of the Judge Advocate Legal Service members of the Judge Advocate designated with the MOS 27A with the proactive with the Judge Advocate Legal Service upon graduation. Judge Advocate Office of the Basic Corps of the Judge Advocate General Legal Center School. Upon written certification, Judge Advocate General certification remains conditioned upon the Office of the maintaining qualifications of the Judge Advocate Legal Services, including maintain good standing with the license of authority admitting with an individual practice of the law of the highest court of the state with the territory common rule for the district. Columbia is further defined with the paragraph 33D. Judge Advocate General certification vary for the officer of means of the requirement of the Article 27 of the U.S. Code Marshal justice remain with the continuing with upon with the officer maintaining those qualifications. Judge Advocate General certification include with the assessment with acknowledgement of that all of the Judge Advocate Generals must maintain the highest level of the ethical, professional, personal conduct with moral behavior, the legal proficiencies. Judge Advocate successfully granted with the military judge course for the be certified with the Judge Advocate General with the designated name MOS 27B military judge. Warrant officers can serve with the Judge Advocate Legal Service upon graduation. Warrant officer basic course for the upon rating of the Judge Advocate General with certification remains continued edition upon the officer of the maintaining qualification serve with the Judge Advocate Legal Service includes maintain qualification over the MOS for the 270A legal administrative of the Judge Advocate General certification include the assessment acknowledgement that all the warrant officers must maintain the highest levels of the ethical, professional, personal conduct, moral behavior, legal profession. Warrant officers who meet with the general graduation requirements of the Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course MOS 270A Legal Administrative requirements set forth the Department of the Army pamphlet 6/11/21 may be considered certification. Writing of the Judge Advocate General the Legal Agent's Assistance of the previously graduated from approved the 270A Basic Course currently served with the MOS 270A Legal Administrative the meet qualification DPAM 6/11/21 may be deemed to certify with the Judge Advocate General. Paralegal soldiers can perform the duties of MOS 27D with the paralegal specialist can serve with the joint agency. Judge Advocate legal service upon written notification. Judge Advocate General with the paralegal specialist can perform the duties of the court with a report. Judge Advocate legal service upon with a written certification. Judge Advocate General Assistant Advocate General that have completed the requisite qualification skill identifier C5 with the Judge Advocate General certification include assessment with acknowledgement of the paralegal call over the reporters must maintain highest level of ethical, professional, personal conduct, moral behavior, boss proficiency. Soldiers meet with the graduation requirement advanced initial training with the MOS 27D with the paralegal special requirements set forth with the DAPAM 6/11/21 be considered the certification written with the Judge Advocate General or other designated paralegals and soldier third the graduate with the court reporter course with the skill identifier C5 court reporter may be considered the certification Judge Advocate General designee. Paralegal soldiers who previously graduated with the 270D with the Army Individual Training Court, individual IAT course currently serve with the MOS 27D paralegal. Specialist meet with the qualification DAPAM 6/11/21 must be deemed certified with the Judge Advocate General civilian attorneys. Judge Advocate General approval of the professional qualification. Judge Advocate legal services civilian attorneys grade with the GS-15 with equivalent number LUO. Approval of the qualification continuing condition of employment. Civilian may not be employed with a DA and attorney with the qualifying authority of the Army Regulation 690-200 Chapter 213 has withdrawn approval of the attorney qualification withdrawal certification for the attorney members of Judge Advocate Legal Service, Judge Advocate Military Judges Civilian Attorney see Chapter 11. Judge Advocate may withdraw with the Judge Advocate General certification legal agency. Paralegal soldier of the court reports based on the completed adverse action taken against subject upon completion of adverse action subject activity other supervisory Supervisor will take an action over the prescribed subparagraph 3 with advisor action included with the conviction court-martial, included summary court-martial, and non-judicial punishment, including opposing U.S. Code, Military Justice Article 15, administrative letters reprimanded as domination, censure of the Administrator of the Army, Regulation 637, refer to diverse reports, Army Regulation 623.3, before with withdrawing with the Judge Advocate General certification subject provide with a written notice of the Super Judge Advocate, Supervisor Judge Advocate stating with the result completed advisory action subject certification withdrawn in accordance with each paragraph of the subject within 10 calendar days show of the cause written with the Judge Advocate General should not execute the withdrawal action subject Supervisor Judge Advocate other Supervisor Judge Advocate will provide recommendation of the Judge Advocate General regarding disposition to respond with the Super Judge Advocate recommendation will each have through the RCSCM Regional Command Sergeant Major of the Judge Advocate General Corps, paralegal of the CWOC, I'm not sure, for the LA legal administrators, to the Judge Advocate General should ensure the compliance with the substance of the procedure, with the process, with the requirement of any law, regulation, directive with the policy made with the relevant action, for example, the provision, Army Regulation 637, with the requirement of notice opportunity with the comment, the Judge Advocate General will contribute a timely written response with the subject before the reaching of the decision. Subject will be informed of the decision or the Judge Advocate General action with the finally not subject of the reconsideration appeals unless such action provided with another applicable law, regulation, directive, policy. 310 U.S. Qualification Personal Legal Consultation. The Judge Advocate General, the Judge Advocate General, with the designee with the authorized secure the legal service, the deployment of the professional consultant with the service required with the manner of the common into the duty to respond with the Judge Advocate General, and over the regulation statute, including claim settlement, proving the authorities designated with the Army Regulation 27, except for the providing subparagraph C, they are not eligible to deployment of the professional consultant, may also meet the following criteria to be a graduate of the law school with approved of the American Bar Association, be a member of the bar, good standing with the licensing authority, with the individual practice of law, but the highest score of the table, the territory of the Commonwealth of the District of Columbia is further defined in paragraph 33D. Before it be as a U.S. citizen with the Judge Advocate General, the Judge Advocate General of the designee may decide with the point with a professional consultant who do not have the qualifications stated with the paragraph 310B. Professional consultant must, in the option of the Judge Advocate General, the Judge Advocate General, the designee may be reputable with a professional competency with the expertise provided sound advice of the managers of the service may be required with approval of the authority's appointment, whose instance described in Army Regulation 69300, Chapter 304, as general of the temporary of the intermittent employment of professional consultant with appointment under the Army Regulation 69200, Chapter 304, with a Super 1, subchapter 1, rather than be it by contract, if however such an employment cannot be provided necessarily. Services with the Judge Advocate General may contract with the service otherwise approved with the authorized with the Federal Acquisition Regulation, Army Federal Acquisition Regulation Section 311, Command Judge Advocate General Corps members of the assume of the command of the Army Regulation 620 upon written approval to give the Judge Advocate General, the Judge Advocate General designee. Chapter 4, Agency Legal Offices.